Circle of Hope opened their doors in 2006, and basically from that moment, my father or my mother would abuse, straight up abuse, but they would say it was punishment. So like if you got caught looking at your sister, if you had a sister there and you got caught looking at your sister, you would be put in push-up position all day. Sometimes you could even be restrained, and being restrained is where Boyd or Stephanie picks you up, throws you to the ground, and then they call myself or other teenagers. Like we were all teenagers being forced to restrain on our peers. Punishments range from anywhere between 15 jumping jacks to the restraint, the 5-point restraint, and the restraint could last hours. I remember there was 2 sets of sisters that were restrained side by side for looking at each other, and that went on for, I'm not even lying, like an hour and a half. It would go on forever. One of the same sisters, she was a disabled woman. Well, she was a disabled child when she got sent to Circle of Hope, and she was put in push-up position for an all day, like all day long. When they would be outside working and they would move from one pen to the other, she would have to get up, walk over to where they were working, and then get back in push-up position. And so it was things like that. Girls who were deemed fat in my dad's eyes were starved, given like less than half portions, forced to drink pitchers of water as a punishment. And those were the pitcher of water and like the food was usually because the way you looked. So if you thought you were pretty, my dad would feed you more to make you eat until you gained a lot of weight. So it was just like psychological stuff like that that would go on there. I was kicked out in 2009. I want to say it was like January, because it was right before I turned 18. And I ended up moving down to Florida when I was kicked out with my grandma. So in the beginning, so I got out in 2009. So like 2010, I actually was telling them to shut up. I didn't want to see my dad go to jail. That's something something I never wanted to see. And so actually in 2009, 2011, and 2012, I was telling the girls to shut up, and what we were being punished because we deserved it. It wasn't until I had my second son that I really like started realizing that we didn't deserve it. We were just kids. They were adults and they could have handled themselves a lot better than they did. So it wasn't until about 2013, 2014 that I started like getting everyone back together and like talking to them. At that point, I wasn't talking to them, and I wasn't really talking to my family. I was just like trying to not get involved with it until we got that. Well, actually in 2015, I started talking to the other girls that were telling me the sexual allegations against my father. And that's when we started speaking out within our private group. The crazy thing, a year ago to the day yesterday, we posted that video of the inside look of Circle of Hope, the knock her out video. A year ago yesterday, we posted that, and they were arrested on that a year ago to that day. So it's mind blowing to me that that happened. I haven't talked to Boyd and Stephanie in 6 years. I haven't talked to them since 2016. So we don't have a relationship. We never really did, but I got a phone call from someone telling me that they were arrested. And I was like, this is not happening. Did that really happen? And so when I found out it was true, I can put it this way. When I told my kids that their grandparents were arrested, my oldest son was happy because of everything that happened. And he doesn't know the extent, but he knows how hard we've been working. But my youngest son looked at him and goes, but that's my grandparents. And that right there is like my feeling. Like I'm happy, but they're my parents. So at the same time, I'm sad. I don't know how to explain it. I just want to know why did it take 10 years for anyone to do anything? People started speaking out in 2007. 10 years ago to yesterday, a lady wrote in the Mother Jones article about Circle of Hope. 10 years ago to yesterday. I'm like, why did it take them 10 years to do anything? Like the amount of people that suffered in those 10 years, it's unbelievable to me. Something should have been done way, way sooner. Like, I don't know who needs to be held accountable. I don't know if it's the sheriff's department. I don't know if it's the public district attorney of Stockton, but something like it's insane to me. As soon as I found out, I called 3 girls that have been like really speaking out because I didn't want, because I knew before the the article was posted. I found out way before then. And so I called like the 3 people that I constantly call and I let them know. And one girl, her name's Chanel, she lives in England. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, am I dreaming right now? Amanda, am I dreaming? And I was like, no, Chanel, I can't pinch you because you're like way far away. But I was like, no, you're not dreaming. And she's like, no, I must be dreaming. I was like, hey, I have to go. I'm going to call other people. I'll call you in the morning. And so that was basically her response. She thought she was dreaming until this morning. And I called her and she's like, I just read the article. It's like, I told you you weren't dreaming. Maggie started crying. But she was really happy. She too has the same feelings where it's like, why did it take so long? But we're happy to be here. So I'm happy that my parents are being held accountable, but I do feel like the people who should have done something sooner need to be held accountable, need to be looked into. Like, it's insane that it took this long.